What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Pro and Bro Wrestling Podcast. I believe this is episode 44. Numbers and dates are all starting to mix together with me. They're all just becoming one. I don't even know what month it is. I don't know, man. But we're your hosts. I'm Arnold Teliga Arda.
And I'm Mr. No Days Off, Fred Rosser, and we are still making moves via Zoom.
Yeah, man. And honestly, full transparency, we weren't even planning on recording an episode today, but today is a pro wrestling massacre, man. I woke up today and the world is just even more different than it was the other day. It's crazy. I had no idea that WWE was going to do so many releases. I mean, I personally have heard rumors. I know there's, because I follow a lot of sites like Wrestle Talk and, What Culture and all that. And you kind of speculate that this is coming, but I had no idea just how big of a cut they size down.
It's funny, Arnold. This morning I had got, if you look at my Instagram, I posted a picture with me and this one kid, Gray. He's from Pittsburgh, and he's a big fan of me and WWE. Anytime we're in the Pittsburgh area, his family knows like what hotel we stay at. So I have to steal from you. They're not my fans; they're my family. So the mom has sent me a picture of Grayzilla wearing the Block the Hate shirt. So that was great news that I got this morning. And then all these releases, that was just like terrible news. But from experience, I know what it's like because I got released 2017, 3 days probably before my birthday. So I know that feeling, man. And it's not a good feeling at all, man. I don't never want to see anyone lose their jobs. There are a few people on the list that deserve to be gone. And we can get into that if we need to. So you're the host, so what do you got for me?
I just want to read the list of all the people that got laid off. Okay, Hall of Famer Kurt Angle,
Broke my heart.
Yeah, Aiden English, Drake Maverick, Kurt Hawkins, Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, Heath Slater, EC3, Eric Young, Leo Rush, Lance Storm, Shane Helms, Dave Finley, Scott Armstrong, Pat Buck, Sara Stock.
Good.
So I pause on that one. Sean Tabari and Billy Kidman. And I'm sure they kept on adding to the list, but Zack Ryder also that's not on the list. Wow, man. It's crazy. Like 5 minutes before you Zoom with me, I was watching a video that Drake Maverick posted on Twitter. It was heartbreaking, dude. It was heartbreaking for him to hold back his tears and like losing it. And I'm interested to know that WWE is still letting him compete, right, for the cruiserweight tournament. But man, for him, I think amongst many things, I think one of the reasons why he broke down is the fact that he's not gonna see his friends as much anymore. And like he said in the video, that he doesn't have the chance to say goodbye the way he wants to. And that's just heartbreaking. That was hard for me to watch, man. I don't know.
Well, it's funny. The day that I got released, it was on a Sunday. I went hiking and I actually did a video of me talking about my release, but I never posted it. It was like 3 minutes long and I was crying my eyes out.
Whew. Wow. Yeah, I didn't know that, man. Just let it all out.
I never posted it because I don't think at the time they had the IGTV where you can post longer videos. So it was like 3 minutes. It was like 3 minutes. I'm like, I'm not going to post it.
And, there's so many different reactions to everyone who got released. Heath Slater was very real. I know I saw that you liked that post, but it was very real and it's very understandable for him. I didn't realize he's been there for 16 years, man. He said 16, right? Like 16 years?
16.
Yeah, 16 years. Yeah, like it makes sense. Like he can't gather up all the emotions and thoughts in a few hours for for a statement to the public like that. And I thought that was very real of him. I really like Kurt Hawkins' message saying that, I don't know, did you see what he said?
I saw it, but I don't remember what it said.
Oh, well, paraphrasing here, basically he said the last time that he got fired, he made a little joke about it, but this time it doesn't feel appropriate. But even though, people lost their jobs today, pro wrestling community will come back stronger than ever. And I think that's what everyone needs to hear right now. And, I love that because there's that sense of hope to everyone who's suffering through this.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really cool. I also enjoyed Zack Ryder's post. It was a picture of him and his dad when he won the Intercontinental Championship.
Mm-hmm.
And, he was just saying, like, I've been grateful that I've been here for 14 years, excited for the future and all that. So, but everyone's going to react differently based on their current situation, it's just, it's intense, man. It's intense. Kurt Angle was thankful. He posted a picture of like a slideshow of all his memories on his last run. But yeah, it's a sad day, man. Just people losing their jobs is just never a good thing.
But for them to, it's just weird. Like, for them to post about Kurt Angle being released, I don't know. It's just weird. I could see him being a coach, but to just see the words they released Kurt Angle, it's just like, he's like an OG. That's like saying, for me, that's like saying, oh, we just released Shawn Michaels. We just released The Undertaker. He's up there with he's up there with those guys. Even though that his career was longer in TNA, Kurt is one of my favorites.
Right. Do you think these wrestlers that got released, do you think they all got the information the same time today? Or do you think they've been told a few days before separately and they were told not to say anything until WWE made the announcement?
From experience, they found out all today. They found out all today. Phone call from Mark Carano, most likely.
Yeah, well, that's what Drake said. He got that.
Yeah.
He got off the phone with Mark Carano.
Yeah, I mean, same thing with me. I remember that Sunday morning, 11 a.m., getting a phone call from him, and I rose out of the bed like the Undertaker. You know how like the Undertaker sits up?
Yeah.
I sat up. And
did you know already when you saw like the ID, like the caller ID, or?
I felt it. I just knew it because it was my second injury. I had just came back that August. I had moved to LA.
Mm-hmm.
And that August I had just got cleared to come back. Mm-hmm. And I knew it was only a matter of time before I got the phone call, and I got the phone call in October. But once he called me, he was like, Fred, I got some bad news. And he dropped the news on me. And like I said, I was upset, but hey, life goes on. Again, I was more upset over months later, them doing that WrestleMania with Finn Balor. That's what upset me the most. But yeah, I'm very familiar with that phone call, and those guys got it.
Do you think all the releases that happened today, do you think the majority of them will get rehired once this whole COVID-19 thing is over? Because I think the reason why the amount of numbers are so big is because I can't help but to think that the virus has something to do with it. Maybe if this whole COVID-19 thing wasn't happening, maybe none of them will get released, or maybe like 4 or 5 instead of that massive number. Do you think that plays a big factor into it?
Bro, if this epidemic didn't happen, we would have both been at WrestleMania. I would have been politicking, you would have been politicking with me, and things would have been a lot different.
Yeah. I'm sure you've seen him. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Hosea, maybe? Like, he's that host on NXT. Young cat. He's just a fan like me. I think he's actually younger than me. But he became a host, for NXT. And he's a rapper. He would rap.
The black guy?
Yeah. He got released too. And
he did?
Yeah, he did. As far as my sources go. But imagine how he feels too, because he's this. I want to say kid because I feel like he's younger than me, but like I know that he's a big fan. And imagine what he's going through. Like, oh man, I got my dream job. Are you kidding me? A few days ago, man, he Instagram live with Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels made an Instagram account just so they could go
Oh,
live, and they were like
oh,
talking to each other, and he was like so happy. So I can't help but feel for him. If the sources are right and he did get released, that has to be heartbreaking for him too, man. Because I think it's only been a year there or something. But
I seen Shawn Michaels was doing some kind of live feed or something like that with him. I saw that.
yeah, and it took him forever to figure it out because the feed like as soon yeah because
Shawn Michaels.
yeah, because the host was already there, and as he was like keeping the audience, you know, entertained, he keeps on looking at his phone. He's like, "Oh, WWE's telling me that they're trying to figure it out. Shawn Michaels trying to figure it out," and literally the live went 30 minutes of him just trying to stall time, and finally Shawn figured it out. And when Shawn appeared, he's like, "Oh my God!" Sean's like, before I started this, I had a full, clean shaven face. And like, but now because he's rocking the quarantine beard. He's like, oh, before I started this, my face was clean. But yeah,
Bro, I'm in the same boat too because Pride this year, a lot of Pride is going digital. So now, like, I'm going to be doing some not panel discussions, but kind of what we're doing. I'm going to be talking to whatever audience is there. So I'm still trying to figure out. I was supposed to have a Zoom with them this afternoon, and like the signal was off. So I didn't even try to contact them. I just said, forget it.
I had no idea that like today was gonna be what it is, and this might be super dramatic for me, but it's just crazy. Like little things, like that I'm a big Zack Ryder fan. So to me, when I wake up every morning, the sky is blue, birds are chirping, and Zack Ryder is in WWE. Those are three guaranteed things, man. And for one of them to like not be true anymore, that's kind of weird. And I guess the reason why that I feel for him so much is because we're the same age. Both me and Zach are 34, and he started this when he was 20. He got signed to WWE when he was 20, and I remember being 20, man. Like that's almost not the same amount of time, but that's almost as long as my relationship with my wife. Like for like almost 14, like for 15 years. That's what got people the most was when Zach got released, because he's been able to dodge corners. He's been able to duck every time there's like a cut or anything like that. And hashtag is still here. I showed you earlier that he's fast with it, and he already has the hashtag not there with the shirt and everything. But I think a lot of people were surprised by his release. I don't know if you saw, man, Cody Rhodes. Did you see that?
I saw it.
Oh my God, like I know they're great friends and I know they go to theme parks together, but man, for Cody to post that, you're doing okay, Zach. You'll be all right.
But what irks me is anytime like they would joke around backstage, it's just some of the stuff that they would say to each other, it would piss me off.
Who, Zach and Cody?
Yeah, like they had that type of relationship. I'm like, not me. Not me.
You mean like what? Are they kind of like the mean girls in the locker room where they would like tease other people?
That and each other, yeah. 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 But the one thing about Zach, and I hope we can get him on the podcast someday, us in person and us calling him, because he'll tell you the story that his first time being backstage at WWE, I was an extra too, but I had already been an extra 20 times. And it was his first time being an extra, probably whenever his first time backstage, and it was Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins. They were like following me, like this is me, and they're just like this, just following me, because they didn't know how the they didn't know how the system was, so they were very nervous. They were very new, so the extras kind of have to stay together.
That's a good story that no one knows, man.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago. Like, what was at that time? I know you were a detective. You know, you've done so many things. You're at one point you were a cop, right? Or like a bodyguard, kind of like a part of the security team. What other things?
Well, I was a detective. Well, the first thing I ever did with WWE was Survivor Series 2003, the commercial. If you type in Survivor Series 2003 WWEF or whatever commercial, I was part of that. And in 2003, my first time ever being backstage, I was a detective for the Bastions to kind of swerve Eddie Guerrero and Chavo.
Yeah.
And I remember Vince McMahon at the time. This is when he was very hands-on with the backstage skits.
Yeah.
And I was so nervous. I kept flubbing up my lines. I flubbed up probably 10 times. And Vince was getting pissed. He was like,
Oh
you know,
no.
I'm buying Vince was like, I'm buying the Guerreros, I'm buying the Bastions, but I'm not buying this detective. What are we going to do about it? So they were like, well, let's try it one last time. And it's probably that 11th take. I got everything right. And then that was that, man.
For the Survivor Series commercial, what was your role as an extra?
I was dressed up as a football player, and uh, yeah, me and like people from the wrestling school that I came from. It was like maybe 5 or 6 of us, and we were extras. So we were all dressed up as football players against guys like APA, Big Show, Kurt Angle, Big Show, Kurt Angle, um, Bradshaw did the clothesline legit. He took one of the extras from the wrestling school. He took his head off. They kept doing it and doing it. He kept taking his head off. And Ron Simmons, what did Ron Simmons do? Ron Simmons, to me, I think he gave me like a shoulder tackle.
What was the theme of the commercial for Survivor Series? Why were there a football team or football players? Do you remember?
I guess because it's a team effort. You know, Survivor Series is a team, so it was like football players against WWE guys. I'd have to send you that commercial.
Oh yeah, I would love to see it, man. The Good Brothers. The Good Brothers.
Yeah.
Bro. That's a surprise.
Yeah, very surprised, especially with AJ. But most likely, I have a feeling in my heart that they probably wanted their release.
Yeah.
So they can go to AEW or Japan, because
True.
AJ Styles wouldn't let that happen. Like, if he wants his boys there, you know, they know how to politic. It's like the mob backstage.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess that makes sense, because it was surprising to me that they got let go because how big of a role they played at WrestleMania, you know, with AJ Styles and Undertaker's Boneyard match. And I thought they were a great asset to that segment. Aiden English, I think we talked about this before we started recording. I don't really watch 205 Live, so I had no idea that he was a on-screen commentator. But yeah, man, they dropped the ball so much on Aiden English, and also Rusev, who also got released. I was really surprised by like that Rusev day.
I'm not surprised over it, because he wanted it. I know he wanted his release.
Yeah, true. I mean, you could tell he already his last Instagram post, he already buzzed off his hair. You know, like he shaved his head, and
Yeah.
WWE don't like that kind of stuff. They have to get approval for all of that. So,
well, I don't know about that. I didn't have to get approval about my hair.
Well, I think that's why he got in trouble the first time. Like, I think that's why his push got derailed so much. The first time he had long hair and he chopped it all off. He did it without WWE's notice, and they got really mad at him for that. That's what I heard.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't have to ask permission for my hair. Tattoos, yeah. I remember watching Rusev in NXT, and then when he got brought up to the main roster, he was probably 40, 50 pounds heavier.
Yeah, I remember.
Wrestling barefooted, and he wasn't on TV yet. He was doing dark matches.
Yeah.
And they needed someone they needed someone to wrestle him. His first dark match. His first dark match was against.
Yours truly, huh?
Yeah, I raised my hand for that one, and because he's so impressive and he's such a nice guy, I said to myself, I'll do the job for him. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna make sure that I get my shit in, but
Sure.
I want to help elevate people.
Yeah.
And he was a pleasure. He was a stud to be in the ring with.
Oh, that's great, man. You can tell
And
even
also,
by the few minutes that I've met him, he's so funny. He's so charming. He just makes you feel comfortable.
oh, like, weren't you backstage when he came up to me or no?
Yeah, it was really cool because he was talking to you and he introduced himself to me and all three of us were talking and he wanted to hang out with you. He was like, "Hey, like let's hang out," and you're like, "Yeah, we'll hang out." And then he's like, "You have my number?" And then you're like, "No." And then Rusev looks at me. He's like, "Then how are you gonna hang out?" That was great, man.
Uh, but uh, but but Lana, I love Lana, but she is something else, man. I remember one time, no one on the roster knew that I was the Medicine Man. And,
Wink, wink.
and yeah, and I remember, I gotta keep I gotta keep it kayfabe, if you know what I mean.
Sure.
Uh, I remember I was on this flight, and I was walking up and down the aisle, and then she was in she was in she had an aisle seat, and she was like, Fred, do you have your vape pen? I said, no, not on me. No one knows I do that.
Yeah.
I was so pissed. But anyway,
Yeah.
I love Lana. I love Lana.
So I'm curious to how that's gonna work, with Lana still being in the roster and Rusev now not being able to travel with her as much. But yeah.
Well, Rusev's in LA, he's already been making moves just like I was. He came out here, I believe they live out here, or they have a house out here.
Nice.
But he's been taking acting classes. He's been preparing himself, and I just know in my heart he's going to do well because he's very talented, extremely. I love him.
Yeah, absolutely. Two, not to sound mean or anything, two releases that I wasn't surprised with is EC3 and Eric Young. Eric Young, I know he's been more backstage lately, but I thought he did a great job in NXT, with his group and everything. But as soon as he got back to the main roster, he was barely on Raw. He was just like just like EC3. They were constantly not booked on Raw and main event sometimes here and there, but they had such a momentum in NXT. I bet Hunter's probably punching the wall with that one, like losing just for them to go nowhere in the main roster. But yeah, like things like that, like I'm kind of happy they got released because they're not being used to their full potential.
Sure.
Lance Storm, I had no idea that he works for WWE. Did you know that?
No, either. And he's very cool with me because I had no idea about Lance Storm either.
Yeah.
He's very cool with me too. His daughter is actually is gay, and I guess he didn't really understand. Like, he didn't understand it at first. Someone being gay in wrestling, or just someone being gay in general.
Yeah.
Until his daughter came out, and
wow.
that's when he kind of got a better understanding about it. He learned about it more, and he's got nothing but love for me. Anytime we were in Canada, he would always I would always hear the refs say, "Oh, Lance is looking for you. Lance is looking for you." And then I would see Lance, and I would be, "Hey, Lance, how you doing?" And he'd talk to me about his daughter, about how he didn't understand until like his daughter came out. Then he finally understood. So that was cool of him to say that.
Was his daughter already an adult when she came out? Do you know?
Um, I think she was a
Oh,
teenager.
okay.
I
Okay.
think
Well,
she was a teenager. Yeah. So and that's what happens sometimes. Sometimes when you're not accepting of it until it happens in your family, and then you have to kind
yeah.
of like you have to sit back and kind of analyze how you're dealing with stuff.
Right.
Just like the one basketball player, Dwayne Wade. I think
Right.
his
Yeah.
son,
His son.
his son, right?
Yeah. Now,
His
like,
son is transgender.
yeah, now he wants to be known as a woman now, and
Yeah,
I forgot he changed his name and everything, or her name, I should say, and they were
yeah,
super supportive about that. And not to get sidetracked too much, but when Dwayne and Gabrielle Union were super supportive about it, there's a lot of people in the community that was saying, oh, I don't think that's a good idea because the kid is 13 and 12. They don't know what he or she wants to be at when they're 18 or 21 and all that. And sure, that may be true, but at the same time, I think it's important for them to feel that if they do feel that way, support it, And if
yeah,
later on down the line they want to change their mind, like support that too. But you just have to let them know that you're loved. That's it. A kid just wants to know that they feel loved and accepted for their true self. Again, his daughter might change her mind later on down the line and be like, you know what? Maybe it's not for me. Maybe I was going through a phase. But but I'm sure she would feel so appreciative that her parents accepted that, even if that was like the route that she didn't want to go in the first place.
Let me tell you, one of those haters was Mario Lopez, my high school crush. Was my high school crush, not anymore. But
Ooh.
Mario Lopez was one of the haters who took back his statements.
What did he say? I didn't hear anything about this.
Yeah, he said something negative. He said something negative about like, kids, parents shouldn't support transgender, pretty much.
Wow. Ooh.
Yeah,
Come
yeah,
on, Mario. It's 2020, man.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But then later he took those statements back.
Yeah. What a heel move.
Yeah,
I'm still looking at the list right now, and it's so surprising, the names. We
it's gonna get longer. They haven't even done NXT yet, have they?
no, they haven't. But the one person that I'm super surprised is Mike, man.
Michael.
Mike Yoda.
Oh, I'm devastated.
He's been in the company
Devastated.
since 1989.
You did your
1989.
research?
No, no. I saw it. I forgot who posted it, but like someone said, like, damn, like he's been in the company since 1989. I was 3. He's been in the company since I was 3, man. Oh my god. And he aged really well. He doesn't look like
Yeah.
an old man to me. He still looks like he's in his 40s.
One time, me and Mike are in Germany, somewhere in Germany, and we're looking for a tanning place. Him and I are looking for a tanning place.
Mm-hmm.
So we're walking around Germany. I forget where in Germany, and then we see these people, these this group of like, it's like maybe like a German gang or something like
Oh,
that,
snap.
and they're like yelling stuff at us.
Oh,
We don't know what they're yelling, but like they seem like that they were like racist.
oh
And
no.
like I'm nervous, and Mike Kilder, he's laughing at me because I'm nervous. I'm like, Mike, let's get out of here, man. Let's get out of here. I said, I don't care about these tanning beds. But eventually we found these weak tanning beds where they tan here and then all this is white.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I remember, there's male talent locker room and then there's the TV locker room. we would always get dressed in the TBL locker room because not a lot of people get dressed in the TBL locker room.
Mm-hmm.
So back in the day when I was there, it would be Kane, Goldust, primetime players, Mike Chioda, R-Truth, Jack Swagger, and Mauro Ranallo. And like I would have my vape pen, and sometimes it would smell in the locker room.
Uh-huh.
And Kyoto is prepared with everything. You name it. You need Febreze, he has it. You need a fingernail clipper, he has it. You need anything. You need hair removal, he has everything. And anytime I would do the vape, he would be springing in there, and he'd be saying, "Oh man, they're gonna come in here. The production's gonna come in here," and stuff like that. And then me, I'm just sitting there, just laughing, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love Mike.
Yeah, I can't believe I had the honor of like having dinner with him. Remember, we had sushi with R-Truth and Mike.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Billy Kidman also been in the company since early 2000. He wrestled for WWE for a little bit before he became, before he did his backstage role. He was wrestling for the Cruiserweight Championship. But yeah, man, like I wonder why these like people who's been there long term are the ones that's getting cut, But I'm sure they have their reasons. But yeah, like Billy Kidman and Mike Chioda, those are like two names that's really surprising to me.
Well, Billy Kidman, he's the guy that you see kind of right before you go out the curtain. He's the guy that gives you the time.
Right.
He's the guy that times the show. So he'll let you know if you and I are wrestling, and at 3 p.m. we find out we have 6 minutes, and by 9 p.m. we have 4 minutes. He's gonna let you know that.
I see.
So one cool thing about Billy Kidman is when I first got signed to WWE, I was at FCW and Florida Championship Wrestling, and I had long tights. And Billy Kidman was like, "Why do you have long tights?" I said, "Oh, I don't feel comfortable wearing the trunks. I just don't feel comfortable. I feel like people staring in between my legs."
Uh-huh.
And he said, "Vince McMahon loves guys with big legs. He's a mark for guys with big legs." The next day, I got trunks.
Sara Stock, do you know her?
Who?
Sara Stock.
Yeah, she's married to Cesaro.
Oh, no way?
Yeah.
What does she do? What's her role?
She was a producer for the women.
Whoa, I didn't know that. Shane Helms, man. I heard, I read his tweet saying that, he was kind of hopeful. I don't know if you read it, but he's saying that this might not be permanent and it might just be for now with the whole COVID-19 thing.
Yeah, what's the lingo that they're using? That like they're using some kind of lingo. There's releases, and there's some people that are gone, but they could be brought back. They're using some kind of term about it.
I didn't hear about it. No, like yeah.
Damn it!
I didn't come across that.
Fuck.
But you've been hearing that.
Huh?
But you've been hearing that some people are in that category of that lingo, that it's just temporary until this whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
You kind of like told me how you felt about it earlier, but with all these releases going on, and it's so interesting that WWE is now considered an essential business, huh? I know a lot of sources talked about that, and I told you that they got backlash a lot from the fans because WWE released, COVID-19 PSA about staying home, washing their hands, and I told you that, Charlotte Flair's in the commercial, Kofi Kingston. I personally haven't seen the commercial full length. I just saw little snippets that sources would play as an example. But yeah, everyone was mad because they're not preaching. They're not doing what they're preaching, they're not staying home. And I know it's not, I don't even know, man. I don't even know, because there's so many factors that go into it. Like these wrestlers, do they want to be there, or did they feel like they're pressured to be there, or are they forced to be
Both,
there? Yeah,
both.
yeah,
Some people have families. They want time off. They don't want to be bringing that stuff home to their family.
yeah.
People want time off. People want time off. It is what it is. But for them to get away with this, um, apparently, what they gave the governor of Florida $18 million, or what's going on with that? Did you hear that?
I heard it from you. I didn't hear that from anywhere else. But I know that obviously, Trump and McMahon, as I like to say, in cahoots. I love that word. Are Undertaker and Kane are in cahoots? Are they in cahoots? I always love that. But they're buddies, so I'm sure he got some leeway with that. But I don't know the specific details on that. But I'm sure that plays a part, definitely.
Yeah, well, apparently, what Trump told Vince that, yeah, probably August, you'll
Yeah,
probably start seeing. Did you say that to me?
I told you that one. That they're probably seeing August is when fans can start being in arenas again. Who knows, man? Who knows?
What? What? Apparently, California, the state of Washington, and another state are looking to kind of lift lift the social distancing slowly, right?
Yeah, it's weird. Like I personally think we should just stick with it. I know like it still pisses me off that some people aren't still taking it seriously and they're still doing their thing, and some people still think that it's conspiracy theory. I just feel like we're way past beyond that point now. And I know everyone has their own different circumstances, but I don't know too much about what you're talking about, of how like some states are lifting the social distancing part. That's the first time hearing about that. But um, I I think when everyone started this whole lockdown,
Yeah. You need to know your facts.
huh?
I
No, you
said you
do.
need
Yeah,
to.
yeah, it's true. You have to be aware. I'm getting my sources through you. But yeah, I think they know from the beginning that it's going to be possibly till June or something, but they're just extending it month by month, because I think if you tell people in February, like lockdown till June, they're just going to lose their mind. But if you give them a little, it's kind of like working out, right? When the trainer goes, all right, give me two more, one, two, give me one more. You got this, one more, just one more. And like it just keep on adding on top of that. So it doesn't feel too bad. So I think that's what they're doing, man.
Yeah, I can tell you, I'm definitely losing my mind.
Yeah.
Not having any sex.
Yeah. Yeah. I know you're frustrated about that. Oh man. It's okay, Fred. Hang in there, man. Hang in there. Do
Yeah,
it for the
yeah.
people, all right?
Do it for who? Do it for who?
Do it for the elderly. Do it. uh,
uh,
who else we got? We
oh,
basically covered
oh,
everyone, but
oh,
go ahead.
oh, you look tired. You tired? You rubbing your eyes like you tired.
Oh man, this is past my bedtime. No, I'm just kidding. No, no. This is my bedroom eyes already, man. Oh man. Oh, the last person on my list that we haven't talked about is Sean Tabari. I know this is probably not the full list as we're talking right now. I'm sure there's more names to the list, but yeah, Sean Tabari. Um, he's was he paired up with the Great Khali?
Mm-hmm.
Right? He was, right? And that was
He
his last like on-screen role, I think.
Well, he was with Davari. I
Uh-huh.
mean, he was with Kale, and he was
Yeah,
also with uh wasn't he with Mohammed Hassan?
I think so. Yeah. And his brother
You
now is on 205 Live.
who?
I don't know his first name, but something Davari.
Wait, wait, wait. Davari's brother?
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. But man, for everyone that's that got released, and for everyone that's going through tough times and everything, you know, you've experienced it. So what kind of advice do you have for them?
Um, to in tough times like this, yeah, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna sting a little bit. You're gonna feel like you're worthless. You're gonna feel like that they just used and abused me. Now I'm like worthless. So, yeah, you're gonna feel like you're worthless, but then eventually you just gotta shrug it off and keep it moving. And you gotta know your value and you gotta know your worth. Know yourself, know your worth, and never cheapen your worth.
Yeah.
That whole saying, "This too shall pass," is really, really living with inside of me and with everyone. I
Yeah.
can't just, I can't just sit here and just be all upset and stuff like that, which I am. There's millions of people that are in the same predicament as me.
Hmm.
Um, what keeps me sane is doing this podcast and also being with my god babies and doing my little Rocky one-on-one workouts here. Um, I got to do what I got to do. I always say, you can strip away me of my finances, strip me of my clothes, but you cannot strip me and you will not strip me of my good health. So
That's great, man.
that's, yeah, that's very important.
And, you know, one door closes, another one opens. You're a great example for that. You know, WWE might be closed for you as of right now, but look at all the things that you've done after that. You know, you had great matches in the indie scene of Fall Ba. You wrestled Sean Spears, and outside of wrestling, you've dabbled in Broadway for
Hmm.
the first time with your theatricality show and everything. So it's definitely broadened your horizon, and it's only been what, like 2.5 years. Like you've done all those
Yeah,
things. You know, it's just the beginning, man. Like who knows what the future holds? You know, all we gotta do is one step at a time and work hard every day, and you know, control the things that you can control. Right?
exactly, exactly. That's why, you're my therapist. Before we filmed this, I was red on the inside. I was red on the inside and the outside.
Yeah.
But after this, I feel a lot more calmer now.
So am I your vape pen? uh,
Hey, hey, kayfabe brother, I'm still hitting it.
oh, okay, okay. Gotta keep that kayfabe alive, brother. Oh, off topic, but did you see that documentary with the Undertaker? I think it's on the WWE Network, where it's his journey for the past year or so. But he's checking into a hotel. I think this is the year that he's supposed to wrestle Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. But
Mm.
he's checking in the hotel, and then Roman Reigns comes up behind him, and Undertaker looks at him, and Undertaker goes, "God damn it, you can't even kayfabe for a few minutes." Because and Roman Reigns is like giggling. He's like, "I don't care about your cameraman."
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
What? Oh, what? Oh, what? It's on the network?
I think it's on the network. I saw it as like a promotion, like after WrestleMania, you know, like WWE Network
Ah.
special. But yeah, it's like the camera crew going like following Undertaker for a few years, like 2 years or something. But that moment was really cool.
Mm.
But
Oh,
anyways,
that's cool.
it's so funny how this Zoom is starting to get so much more clear as we're ending the episode. Now it's smooth as butter, man. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you're listening to us on iTunes, give us a 5-star rating if you like what you hear. And if you're watching us on YouTube, let us know in the comment section below what you like to see from us. And until then, Fred, would you like to do the honors?
Oh, yeah. Block the hate, salute the great, and continue to drink your ketones, baby.
Nice plug at the end. Well
You
done.
damn right.